What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday afternoon or evening to all of you. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag, November 22nd. We have a packed show. We have Al Mack joining us in just a few short minutes. Then we're going to go into Maxwell Smart's NCAA basketball breakdown. And Al Mack going to be handling Grey Cup. He's got a couple NFL looks. And then he's going to talk about the big Wilder bout on Saturday night, which I can't wait to watch myself. I have made some NFL bets. I'm going to add a couple more. We'll talk about those with Al Mack. But most importantly, thank you to all these great cappers in the chat. Lillian Pumpernickel, DX Filer, Reese, Jimmy, Cece. We got Jeff Billings in the house. Jeff Billings is going to get me to the window on a lot of bets that I wasn't sure if I was going to hammer. Jeff, I need you to have a big week this week, man. Because if you have a big week, I have a big week. There's Reese, unbelievable in the house. Love seeing unbelievable. There's my guy, Nutflush Allen, man. The guy is just, God, he's just so much of the heart and soul of our show. I just love him so much. And he's been hanging with me all day. And I'm very thankful for you, Mike, and your sweet family. Canascat in the house. Already started the day off with early wins. Eastern Michigan, Tulane, and push Missouri State. Nice. That makes me very happy. Michael Ervalina says, are the Heat sitting critical players? Why is the line so low? It's a tricky low line, but we spent a lot of time with the great Junior Brown breaking that down on the early show. There won't be a ton more. Oh, my God. Okay, Guillermo, you give me the word. I fire away. Katoa in the 7th at Del Mar. Got to copy and paste that right now. Katoa in the 7th at Del Mar. I'm in. Do you know when that pops off? Guillermo, can you let me know when that pops off? I'd love to know. Sean Williams, 2 plays, 1 cashed already. Beautiful. Great job. He already cashed with Valparaiso, and he's got Albany -2. All right, let me copy and paste that right now. K-Con in the house. Barry Cockiner ready to go. Mailer Palis way in the house. We got Abdebet ready to get to work. Reese, Dave Betts joining us. Anthony Mastronardi, Miami, Lakers, Dallas, Boston, and Atlanta. All right, glad that you're on the Lakers with me. I like that spot. I know it's a weird line, but I'm rarely on the Lakers. I am here. Rex and College Football, Stephen Dollery, Michael Irvin. Okay, we got a great group. We got to get right to work. And Eric Nisbet says Deontay Wilder by TKO. I'm looking forward to hear how Al Mack wants to break down that fight. Okay, we're going to quickly go over my plays. Not going to go over the games. I'm on Devils plus 150. I got the Devils plus 150 early this morning. And when I got here in the morning, I'd already beaten that line by 30 cents. Let's see quickly what it is right now. Very, very quickly what it is right now. And if you want that right now, oh, shit. Sorry, I got to go to money lines. My fault. Very quickly. There's Joe Anisi in the building. And if I wanted that right now, I would. Oh, wow. It kind of came back up. There's a plus 126 available. And but plus 115 in my book, so beat it by 35 cents in my book. I'm staying off Rangers, Senators, 2 bad teams playing very well. I'm off. In NBA, I'm on the Pistons first half -3. They had 3 days off before that embarrassment. Now they're going to play this Hawks that's, doesn't have Collins because of the PEDs, doesn't have Huerter. Look, maybe the Pistons can't cover big spreads, sure, but they're going to come out firing. Casey's an honest guy who demands honest work ethic, and he's going to get it from the Pistons. I'm on them first half -3. I took the Hornets team total over 113.5. I took that this morning from our guy Illwise. He got me on that move, and I'm very thankful to be on it. I'm off Kings Nets. I'm off Heat Bulls. I'm on the Lakers -4.5 and -102. I mean, I've been watching this line move back. Let's just see what it is right now out of curiosity. I'm also on the Thunder team total under 103.5. And if the Lakers are, there's a couple 4.5s now. Heritage at least moved to 4.5. It makes me feel a little better. Shaft says, tailing all your NHL and NBA tonight. Oh, that makes me feel very good. Jeff Billings says, I love the Lakers first half full game. Davis in the over points. Rockets first half money line. Golden State money line. Oh, that's exciting because I jumped on Golden State. Let's get to that next. I'm off Spurs, Sixers, off Cavs, Mavs. I took the Warriors plus 16 at -110. If I want them right now, there's 16s across the board. Anybody can have them if they want them. Eric Nisbet says Pistons the play. I like seeing that. Celtics, Nuggets, I'm off. Rockets, Clippers, I'm off. It's not like I couldn't find plays for that, but I'm off. Ski Prop says on 2 of your 3 of your NBA. I did add 2 spots, though, Ski. I added the Warriors and the Pistons first half. Because I got those team total as well. But that makes me feel really good, Ski. Love hearing that. Jamal Stone says, where's Maxwell Smart? He's going to come on very soon. But we got some more. There's a ton of sports, and there's not too many games to get to in college basketball. So we're still going to be able to cap each and every game, and he might give us some live-in plays as well. Matt Randall, taint play today. Actually, you know what? I'll go over Matt Randall's spots when we bring Maxwell Smart in. So why don't we bring in our guy Al Mack right now. We'll bring in our guy Al Mack representing the 6th, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. How you doing on this Friday evening, Al?
Hey, sorry, doing really good. Super excited for this weekend. Got the Grey Cup and then this big Wilder Ortiz 2 fight, and I'm excited to break it down with you.
Well, let's start with the Wilder Ortiz fight because everybody's talking about it on the chat all day long. What's your move? How are you handling this big boxing match?
Yeah, so the thing about with boxing and heavyweight boxing, there's a ton of historical precedents in boxing that you can learn and you can lean your predictive opinion on as to who's going to win. There's a lot of deep roots in the sport's history. We've seen many times, many scenarios where fighters have come out of retirement or returned from a long absence only to regain prominence in the sport, reach a new pinnacle in their career. That, however, I think in general is the exception and not the rule, especially in heavyweight boxing. Oftentimes, when you have a rematch between two guys who left it all in the ring the first time, and the fighter who lost is the older fighter, a lot of the times you will see the older fighter struggle to repeat that same performance from the first fight. In fact, the most common outcome is seeing the older fighter get blown out in the rematch. It's a daunting task. Not very many boxers are able to accomplish it. It's a mental and physical battle. You have to go against. You're not only fighting your opponent, but you're fighting your former self. You got to live up to that, what you were before. It's a big oversight in boxing is that the mental game, especially in heavyweight boxing and especially with older fighters, the last fight, Ortiz, he had some big moments. He could have defined his career, but Wilder was able to cement his legacy in the division. It's hard for me to imagine that the rematch is going to live up to how good the first fight was. Wilder, this is what I'm basing my bets on. This is just absolutely unbelievable. Wilder has some of the most impressive fight trends that I've seen out of any heavyweight fighter in history. Wilder has won 20 of his 42 professional fights by KO in the first round, giving him a round one knockout rate of 47.6% for his career. He's also finished 5 of his last 15 fights in the first round. He's got a KO rate of 95.2%. He's won by KO in 40 of his 42 pro fights. He's got a KO rate of 86.7% in his last 15 fights, winning 13 of those by knockout. He's got an average fight length of 5.9 rounds in his last 15 fights and has a career average fight length of just 3.14 rounds. It's as simple as this. Ortiz is 40 years old. He's a southpaw, and southpaws get hit with the right hand. Wilder's right hand is extremely dangerous. It's an eraser, a great equalizer, probably the greatest that we've seen in this sport. There's no denying Wilder has an abundant amount of technical flaws. The question is going to be, will he be able to put himself in a position where he gets caught by the veteran Ortiz? Ortiz is a great puncher, but if Wilder comes back in this fight with a more polished counterattack, it could be a different story. For me, I just think that there's Wilder knows something that the rest of the public doesn't know. Like I said, there's that great equalizer. When it's all said and done, after looking at everything, considering all the outcomes, it's my opinion that there's a very good chance that Wilder wins this fight within just a few rounds or even just a few seconds. So I'm going 4% on Wilder by TKO at minus 125, 2.5% on Wilder by KO plus 225, and then 2% on total rounds under 6.5 at minus 125. And then I'm doing this. I'm going to split up 4% in 8 0.5% plays, under 1.5 rounds plus 900, under 2.5 rounds plus 450, under 3.5 rounds plus 275, under 4.5 rounds plus 175, under 5.5 rounds plus 110, and then give me the fight will end in round 1 plus 1,400. The fight will end in either round 1, 2, or 3 plus 350, and then the fight will end in round 1 or 2 plus 600. I just think I think Wilder's going to destroy him. I think that it's not with heavyweight boxing and with older guys. The sequel is never as good as the first fight, and Ortiz is not only fighting himself. He's fighting the best boxer, the best heavyweight striker in boxing in our entire generation. So I think that Wilder takes care of him very quickly.
Wow. Why did you not go with round group betting instead? Did you break down the numbers in like under 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, more than rounds 1 to 2 or rounds 3 to 4? Because that's 650 and 450, or rounds 1 to 3 at 375, rounds 4 to 6, 250. What's the thinking about doing the 0.5%, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5?
No, I did do the group betting. I'm just trying to extend my exposure. So yeah, I bet the one prop that I bet 3 of the round props. So fight will end in round 1 plus 1,400, and then fight will end in round 1 to 3 plus 350, and then fight will end in round 1 to 2 plus 600. Just because I want to be able to capture the first 3 rounds, so that if the fight ends in the 3rd round, I hit big on the under 3.5, the under 4.5, the under 5.5, and then I cash that plus 350 on the fight will end between round 1 and 3. So to be honest though, I think if you want to play this fight casually, bet the first round, because we've seen Wilder in a fight kind of like this, where he fought Bernard Strevine, a Canadian, in 2015. It was the first time that Wilder was ever brought to the decision. And 18 months later, they fought again, and Wilder beat him in 6 seconds. So he's been in this situation before. And Strevine, it was at the same age then that Ortiz is now. Ortiz is 40 years old. So I think Wilder has a chance to end this fight in seconds.
Well, that's wild. What a wild breakdown. I'm definitely going to make some moves on this fight as well. Eric Nisbet says under 5 rounds for sure. I'm definitely going to make moves on this fight. Great breakdown. Al, we got to move quickly. CFL Grey Cup. Al told us last week to take the Ticats to win the Grey Cup at plus 180, and I don't know what the hell was wrong with me, overwhelmed or what. I'm just embarrassed to admit that I did not do that. And what a perfect spot it would be for a middle, grabbing the Blue Bombers plus 4. Jeff Joseph came on the show. Oh, wow, Teddy B, I'll copy and paste that. Jeff Joseph came on the show, in the morning show, and he was like, take the Bombers. They keep covering as road dogs, and O'Shea is a hell of a coach. It's now, Ticats opened up at -2. Now we see a -4 at Pinnacle, -4 at Bovada, still 3.5 everywhere else. Al, how are you handling the Grey Cup on Sunday?
Yeah, so again, I've been talking about it all year. I had a big future on the Ticats. I split about 4 units between the Ticats and the Stamps. I hedged out. I grabbed some Bombers money, and I grabbed. I grabbed some Eskimos money, and sorry.
That's a hell of a ringtone there.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
So I grabbed some Eskimos money in the first round, and then so the problem that I have here is that the juice is too high now with Hamilton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let my Hamilton bet, the future bet, ride, and then I'm going to just cap this game separately. Like you just said, the Bombers 7-1 ATS as dogs this year. 13-7 on the money line. 14-6 ATS. It's hard to go against the Bombers, but I think it comes down to you got Caleros versus Dane Evans, and I think Dane Evans is easily the best quarterback in the CFL, and then it comes down to Speedy B, Brendan Banks, first in the CFL with 1,550 total yard receiving, first in the CFL with 13 receiving touchdowns. My power ratings, just to go over what I've been giving out so far this year, on not necessarily on everything that I gave out, but my model, after it's all said and done, has gone 50, 35, and 2 for ATS plays. My model for this game has Hamilton as 5.5 points better than Winnipeg. The line is 3.5. That's what I got it at. I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play this game kind of on the derivative side. I kind of don't want to get involved with the side, just because I have so much exposed with the Ticats in my futures. But you look at that team total, over 27.5 minus 125. I think that's a very interesting look. Hamilton went through a stretch of games from the 20th of September to the 26th of October where they scored 30 points in every game that they played. The only game since then that they didn't score 30 points was in a meaningless final week of the season game versus Toronto. They scored 36 versus Edmonton last weekend. I love that team total in my opinion. And then also the first half total, 25.5 minus 105. I think that's a good look. Hamilton has had a tendency to come out and win first halves all season long. It looks like they've been game planning to blow out teams. With that, I think Hamilton minus 140 on the first half money line is also a solid look. But I'm going to wait because on Sunday you're going to get so much public action that the line won't even be close to what it is now. So you're best to wait on this, in my opinion.
I love it. I love it. Al thinking there's going to be points liking Ticats first half. Al, we've got to move on to college basketball now. Do you mind just running through your looks for Sunday?
Yeah, for NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just quickly, I really like the over in the Tampa game. The over, Tampa's gone 8-2 to the over this year. They're also 2-8 ATS, so I'm going to fade Tampa Bay. And then I really like New Orleans minus 10, and I like the under in Seattle, Philadelphia.
So we have the Tampa over, the Saints, and what was your Seattle, Philadelphia? Oh, we lost your audio. Get back with audio.
Under 48 and minus 115.
Oh, thank God, because that's my spot. I'm on the Eagles, Seahawks under as well. That makes me very happy that you're on that as well. All right, beautiful. Those are your only three looks in NFL. Tampa over, Saints minus 10, and Eagles, Seahawks under 48?
Yeah, depending on what happens with this Brady stuff. If Brady ends up being out, I'm going to bet the under 44 or whatever the under ends up being in Dallas, New England.
Yeah, I don't think Brady's going to be out, but Van Der Esch is out. It's going to be rainy. And I'm on the Cowboys plus 6.5, so we'll have to see how that all bangs out. Al Mack, thank you so much for joining us. Follow this man at Spark Al Mack. Al, tell us a little bit about the articles that you're doing for Sportsbook Review.
So yeah, we just did Wilder Ortiz 2, and we're going to be continuing it with a bunch of more boxing coming up. We got Andy Ruiz Jr. and Anthony Joshua 2 that's happening at the first week of December. So all of that coverage of these boxing events I'm going to be doing on SBR, and then as well my weekly parlays for college football. I've gone 10-2 plus like 11.5 units since the start of the season, so I'm going to be doing that for the rest of this college season, and then NFL in and out. So yeah, super excited for the final stretch of 2019.
Oh, I love it. Al Mack joining us on a Friday evening. Al Mack, have a very profitable weekend, and I can't wait to. Have you already tweeted out all your boxing action?
Yeah, it's with the in the SBR article. I haven't really made any official plays yet. I've just put out my recommendations. I'm gonna take the shots tonight, and it'll probably be 10% bankroll spread across the whole fight. So look for that this evening.
I will definitely look for that this evening. Al Mack, thank you so much for joining us, my friend, and have a very profitable weekend. We will see you next week.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Hopefully we'll be celebrating a Hamilton Ticats Grey Cup victory. Oski wee wee.
There we go. Al Mack in the house. We go right from Al Mack to Maxwell Smart joining us on Friday evening. Rafa, my man, can we roll Maxwell's intro?
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Maxwell Smart, my man, how are you doing on this Friday evening?
I'm doing good because I'm here with you and the Low Baggers, but I just finished watching that FIU game, finished a point short. So I'm a little sour right now, but I'm going to power through it, and we're going to hopefully lock down some more winners and avoid some of these heartbreaking losses like we just experienced.
Well, let's talk about this live card right now before we get into games. And we still have a bunch of games, so I actually thought we'd have a little less. But let's talk about this live card. Is there anything jumping out at you right now in North Texas, Rhode Island, Kansas City, George Washington, Baylor, Coastal Carolina? Great call on Coastal Carolina yesterday, by the way. Texas, California, Presbyterian, Sacred Heart?
Right now, I'm actually looking at finding a good number on Baylor. They're at the half right now. They're down 2 points. We're talking about a double-digit closing line spread, and we're seeing them at 5.5. I would prefer them at 3.5. The second half line is 6.5, so I don't see any value there. But I'm obviously definitely going to keep on watching. There was definitely value on Rhode Island at the half, considering where that price was and how low scoring that half was. There was also some value on probably jumping on an over if it was over 118 or 119. But the only other spot that I see a little bit of live value in is jumping on Illinois State. I think that Jaron Cumberland obviously is going to be in the lineup, but I think that without Jorim Sorolo, the Valparaiso transfer, I think that weakens their depth and weakens their front court. So that's the only play that I'm looking at live that I can recommend that you get on, and I'm just hoping that Sacred Heart can keep it going for us. So and Rhode Island can move ahead and cover by margin.
I love it. I love it. So you put out a ton of, and let us know if you're going to jump on anything live while this show's going on. Please let us know and let the cappers in the chat know as well what's going on. Okay, so starting with your betting with the bag official plays, and you did a lot. Some of them are in play, and some of them haven't started yet. Could you help me figure out where do we start with the plays that haven't started yet?
Yeah, okay. So I can help you out with that. So far we have the East Carolina game that we can start off with. That's a game that has moved obviously with the line. We can talk about the Richmond McNeese game. We can talk about the Radford game. I just mentioned that.
Perfect. So when you did the show picks, you just put them all together on one tweet?
Yeah, I put them all in one tweet, and then there's two other tweets. There's a team total on Harvard that I'm tailing ill-wise on, and then there is a UConn over that I got earlier this afternoon.
Okay, perfect. So I know exactly where we stand. Perfect. So let's start with East Carolina +8. East Carolina +8. And that pops off. We got some time for that spot. Where is it? Oh, there we go. East Carolina, Evansville. So Max jumped in on East Carolina at +8. And, I got to move from Pinnacle to 5 dimes, but it's now down to 5.5 or 6. Why are you on East Carolina in this spot? And do you think there's still value at 6?
I think that you've lost the value when it comes to 6. I think that this ECU team is definitely going to be able to surprise a lot of people, because what's the impression of Evansville? That's a team that beat Kentucky. And when it comes to capping, I don't think that really plays a lot into it. I am definitely going to be aware that there are some injuries to the backcourt for East Carolina, but this is a team that I trust at the free throw line. This is a team that I trust on the road. I expect them to play a little bit better three-point defense, but you're not going to get going up against a prolific three-point shooting team in Evansville. I think that's just a matter of winning on the glass against this Evansville team, which is one of their major weaknesses. They are perimeter oriented, and you just really have to limit the possessions. I think that the uglier and slower pace that you play this Evansville team, the better opportunity that you have of winning. And we saw the recipe for it with that game against SMU. If you have dominant players in your front court, which East Carolina does in Jaden Gardner, you have opportunities to beat Evansville. And I think that tonight, East Carolina is live as a dog, money line. I didn't take them. I'm not going to give them for the show, but at +8, it was a play that I had to get on, and that's going to be a line you're going to hear often today.
I love hearing that. Quick question about a live spot from our Big E. Wondering what you think about backing Texas live right now, up 25-21 at the half.
Yeah, the problem is, what number are you going to take? I see a 9.5 live, and I see a 5.5 on the second half. If you take the 5.5 on the second half, that means that you're going to be able to cover a number close to or under the closing line number. I think that that would be the play if you're looking to jump on something right now.
All right, there we go.
And also, just to add to that,
sure.
Seeing Texas break down against Georgetown last night, that's a good play to make.
I love it. I love it. We have a quick question, too, on a game that's going to pop off shortly, so let's ask about it. Schaff says Duquesne versus Air Force tips off in 30 minutes. Still time to get those bets in pregame if he has a look. Schaff is on Duquesne. Scott was also asking about Duquesne Air Force. Duquesne opening up at -7. There's a couple 7.5s on the board. There's an 8 at Bovada. There's still 7s. This total stuck at 137. Duquesne Air Force, Max.
Yeah, this is a simple spot for me. You guys know how I feel about the Duquesne Dukes, and I'm on them again. I lost with them last night, but if you were on the live line and you were checking it out, I gave you a +200 money line live dog on them, and we cashed it. Tonight, I think Duquesne takes care of business. Obviously, they're going to have a significant advantage in the front court against Air Force's main strength, which is Lavelle Scotty and Ryan Swan. It put a lot of pressure on guys like Chris Joyce and A.J. Walker last night, and obviously we saw the result in that. I was on Air Force. I actually doubled and tripled up on it and took a big loss, about 2.5 units on it. So I watched this game. I watched both these games. I think that Duquesne comes out a little harder tonight. I don't think that they make us sweat it out with a poor first half performance. And, I actually wanted to look at that Duquesne number. Did I write it down for the show? No, I did not take them on the first half. I'm just taking them full game. So, Schaff, I'm down with that. Let's go Duquesne Dukes. Sincere Carey, he's got great hair. He's got great shooting ability, and he gets to the free throw line and makes free throws. I'll take him.
And they're not one of your official picks at this point, so I line shop for you?
If you want to line shop for me, yep, they're not one of my official picks.
All right, let's go. Max looking for the Dukies full game. Let's grab him right now. Duquesne full game. I can get you a -7 at -110 from you, Wager. Duquesne -7 at -110 from you, Wager. Okay, let's keep rolling through Max's spots that he's already given out on his Twitter, which you guys should all be following. We've gone through Eastern Carolina. Next up, we have Radford +4. Radford +4. Let me find it here. Radford, Bradley, open at +3.5, now 4. Why are you on Radford here?
All right, so this is a spot where I think that Bradley has started slow in a couple games. Listen, they've struggled to cover spreads. Obviously, this is a single-digit number, so we have to take that in consideration. But I do think that Radford has challenged themselves and played quite well against a competition that they've gone up against. They had a 6-point game against Liberty. They beat Northwestern as a 5.5-point dog outright, and they lost to Georgia Southern on the road, which is no tall task because Quan Jackson and Ike Smith are no pushovers. I look for Radford and Carlick Jones and Travis Fields Jr. to really be the catalyst for this team tonight. Darryl Brown is no joke on the other side, and I think that's going to be vital for Bradley to get their big men going, like Koch Barr and Elijah Childs. But I think that Radford tonight's able to really just played some lockdown defense, hit their free throws, and I think that they stopped Bradley from taking three-point shots and making them. I think that Bradley wants to slow the tempo down, and that favors a lower-scoring game where it's going to come down to free throws and guys who can make shots. And when Carlick Jones is on the floor, I'll take him. So I'll take Radford +4. That's one of my official picks already.
Radford +4. Sweet. And there's no juice on this week, but there's probably juice on the one you initially sent out.
Yeah, it was -110.
Okay, sweet. -110. Okay, great. Quick question from Lilium Pumpernickel, Max. Lilium wondering about a live spot here. Rhode Island, North Texas over-under is at 117 right now. Do you like the over?
Pardon me?
The Rhode Island, North Texas live over. What do you think about it? It's at 117 right now when she posted it a few minutes ago. I'm not sure what it is exactly right this second, but do you like the over, live over in North Texas, Rhode Island?
It's 116.5 right now. We only have 23 points through freaking 8 minutes. I'm not watching the game, so I can't really give you my feel on the total. I'm better at picking sides when it comes to live totals.
Okay, well, let's keep rolling along here. We've done East Carolina. We've done Radford. Now we have the total in the Richmond game. Let me find this on here on the best odds page in the business. Why are you backing this over? And you got Richmond over at 148. Why are you backing it?
Yeah, this is a spot where I've watched Richmond. I've seen how they play on their home floor. They play fast, and I think that although McNeese State has struggled to score against top-tier opponents, I don't think that this is one of them. I think that this is a game where we could see guys like A.J. Lawson and Roydell Brown actually be very successful from the perimeter. I think that Richmond's going to do a fair bit of scoring. I think that they could be winning this game by 20 points. And in that case, you got a lot of firepower on that Richmond side. Jacob Gilliard has been a fantastic point guard so far this season. But I definitely think, and I want to give some credit to a guy like Nick Sherrod, who's coming back from a season-ending injury last year, and it's been just a fantastic offensive piece. This is a team that plays fantastic at home, scoring a lot of points, shooting over 50% from the field. They hit their free throws. They don't do too bad of a job at the glass. But against McNeese State, I want them to do a bad job on the glass because that's when Shamarcus Kennedy steps in, and Shamarcus Kennedy's a guy that can give you 18 and 10 in a game. I think that both these teams, have played towards over paces. I do like the number also for the range. This is a number that Richmond's already gone over 2 times within about a 10-point range to this closing line. And I think that Richmond tonight keeps on going on that furious pace. Obviously, we have to worry about an under coming through like Mississippi Valley State game the other night. But I think that the McNeese State is able to score more easily against Richmond than they were against New Mexico and Wisconsin.
And this is the Taint play of the day as well. It was given out by Matt Randall at 148, I believe. I'm just going back to check the Taint play of the day here. Wow, yeah, at 148. It shot all the way up to 152 at Pinnacle and 151 everywhere else. Man, great job, you guys, getting in on this early. Great job. Okay, let's keep rolling. Next up, Max, you're on the Cal Baptist over. That's down to rotation number 873, 874. Central Arkansas, California Baptist. They opened at 150, and you jumped on it. Where did you get it at? Sorry, very quickly here. You got it 149.5. I got the Pinnacle openers. I got to move that over to 5 dimes. That's my fault. It's now at 152, 152.5, or even 153 at Heritage. Spectacular job. Why are you on this over in Central Arkansas, California Baptist?
Yeah, this is a Central Arkansas team that I just see moving at a faster pace. I think that California Baptist is going to oblige to score, but I think it's also the quality of defense that we're going to see. Obviously, you have to take into consideration that Central Arkansas has been blown out, so that does inflate their statistics a little bit. But I've watched 2 games of this team, and if they can get their 3-point shot off and hit it, I think that they can be quite successful. And I think that California Baptist at home, although they do have a tendency to maybe start a little slow scoring-wise, they can really turn it on in the second half, and we've seen that already this season. This is a team in California Baptist that I trust to get to the line. I trust both these teams to get to the line, and when you have around 40 to 45 attempts a game, that's something that I think that is going to be beneficial, because what's the best thing about being on an over? Scoring with that clock stopped. And I think that with the perimeter defenses of each of these teams, I think that there's going to be room to penetrate the paint, and I think that we're going to get fouls, we're going to get free throws, and hopefully we're going to get some poor perimeter defense, because both these teams commit turnovers, both committing close to 30 turnovers combined a game. I think that's going to play into it, and I'm hoping that we don't have to sweat this game out.
I love it. Rhode Island, you're on Sacred Heart. Liberty have already gone, so they're already out in action. Your next spot that hasn't gone off yet is this under in Arkansas. Rotation number 805, 806, South Dakota, Arkansas. The total opened at 140. You got in at, let me see here, you got in at 140.5. Great job. It's now down to 138 or even 137.5. Why are you on the under in Arkansas? Where is it again? Man, there's so many games here. Why are you on this under, this Arkansas under?
Yeah, this is an interesting game for Arkansas. This is going to be a real test of their fortitude on defense and on the perimeter specifically. You got some really decent offensive pieces in Tyler Hagdorn and Tristan Simpson and Stanley Umudi for South Dakota. I think that, but that's where the scoring stops. If you can get 1 or 2 of these guys into foul trouble, you have an opportunity to handily beat them and quiet their offensive potential. I think that we've seen with this Arkansas team that although they are absolutely putrid from the 3-point line, shooting, I think under 30% on the season. I'm not sure the exact number, but this is a team that I trust to really try and frustrate another team, slow down the pace, really use their defense, because that's what their calling card so far this season's already been. 11% from the 3-point line is something that I can get behind. There's the Godfather of Volume has been talking about this all season so far. This is something that I want to jump on now. Hopefully I'm not getting on in the wrong time. I think that obviously you got to fear South Dakota from the 3-point line, but like I just said, that's Arkansas's bread and butter when it comes to defense, and I think that Coach Musselman's going to have these guys ready to go tonight. Obviously, I wish Connor Vanover and J.D. Notte were in the lineup for Arkansas, but I think that they play suffocating defense, and I think that they really put a hurting on a team that wants to go fast-paced, and the only way to stop them is to slow them down. It's easier to slow a team down than to speed them up.
I love it, Max. Great stuff. Let's look. So the next looks are the additions. And the first audition, and great call with UConn last night. I went 3-3, tailing Max's action yesterday. He went 8-1, down a little under a unit. We could pop up Max's official record right now. Max's official record, overall record. Please, Rafa. Thank you so much, my friend. There it is right now. Still up 7.16 units with a 3.25 ROI. Great call on UConn last night. You're on the over with UConn, backing a UConn game again. Xavier versus 18th ranked Xavier versus Connecticut. This total opened up at 133. You can still get it at the line. You got it at 136.5. It's at 137 at some books. Why are you on the over in Xavier, Connecticut?
So this UConn team, obviously it's my team. I love them. I would cry over them if they won another national championship for me, which I hope they do in the future. But in this game, I think that you have to really take into consideration that Tariq Gilbert is now out of the lineup. He's not going to play in this game, and UConn's definitely going to have to push the pace. They're not going to be able to play Xavier's pace, fall behind by 10 points, and try and get back in this game. I think that you got to really utilize Josh Carlton. I think you got to really penetrate, get to the bucket, and this is a UConn team that's also shown a propensity for not guarding. Obviously, Xavier wants to play a very slow-tempo pace, but you have to also look at their body of work, who they played against. They played a team like Jacksonville. They played against Mizzou, Missouri State, Towson. What do all these teams have in common? They don't want to run and gun with you. UConn, they can do both. We showed last night in the second half that if you do a little bit you slow it down in the first half, you play a little run and gun, that's how you win games. I think that UConn's going to be focused on that tonight. I think that the rims are going to play a factor into it. And with Tyler Poley and Christian Vitale and James Buchnight coming back, I think that you have some firepower that we're going to see exhibit itself. And I think that Xavier definitely is going to be able to use their size up front to score. I think it's an ugly game. I think it gets over. I don't think that it gets over at a rapid pace like the Liberty over today.
All right. A question. Now, I have listed and copied and pasted all the questions, but we're going to skip to one to Steve Priest because we've already spoken about this game, and it's the Arkansas-South Dakota game. Do you think Arkansas covers this spread? That's the question from Steve Priest. It's up to 15.5 or 15 or even a 14.5 at one book. Do you think Arkansas covers this big number?
I don't have a play on the spread. I didn't have an edge at all. The line I created was 13.5, and I would be looking towards Arkansas if I wanted to take a side in this match. And
all right.
I'm laying off of it completely.
We're going to get into the questions. We're going to get into Max's additions. We're going to get it all in. The next spot, yes, I will copy and paste that, Viper, my guy. But the next question that is, or your next official play that you've already locked out, is a play that Illwise, our low bagger Illwise, is on too. That's the team total in this Harvard matchup here against Holy Cross. Harvard opens up as 12.5 point favorites. They're now 16 point favorites, and you're on the team total over 77. I don't know. I can't remember if it's 77 or 77.5. Why are you backing Harvard here?
So this was a really good look by Illwise. First off, shout out to him for bringing this play to my attention. I missed the line on Harvard. Simple as that. I wasn't going to take them at 3.5 points off the opening line. My line created was a little under the line that is out right now. I had about 13.5 points towards Harvard, and I just didn't have enough edge. So I do think that Harvard is going to exhibit a much better performance than I witnessed with Al Mack at the James Naismith Classic. I think that there has to be a lot less isolation. There has to be a lot less ISO, because that's what really allowed Buffalo to hone in on them. I think obviously with Holy Cross, you have a much different standard and quality of defense that you're going to be going up against. And I think that Bryce Aiken and company, especially a guy like Chris Lewis and Robert Baker, they're going to be able to dominate down low. I look and expect them to smash Holy Cross tonight. I expect this game to go over, which I'd like to make an official pick, and an addition on the play. And I think that the way that Harvard played against Buffalo in Toronto, I think that we're going to just get a night and day performance, and we're going to see Harvard really be efficient from the field, hit the 3-point shot, and make free throws. So
I can give you that over right now. There is a best line here. Wow, interesting stuff. These books afraid of the under in this game. Harvard Holy Cross at Pinnacle is hanging the 138. If you want to go under that, it's minus 126. They're giving you a minus 105 to go over that at 138. That's a point better than all the other books. Do you want over 138 at minus 105 in Harvard Holy Cross?
No, actually, I want to back off of it then. If Pinnacle is trying to lead you one way, that gives me some trepidation on it.
I mean, even bookmakers doing the same thing, but at a higher number. Bookmaker has this at 140, but to take the under, it's minus 121. Very interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Very interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm unsure of it. I'd have to look deeper into it. I don't have the time to do that.
Okay, we're going to stay off that total. Well, let's get to additions. We have questions that are ready to be fired at you, Max, but what are the additions that you want to make?
Okay, so the additions I want to make is I want to add West Virginia first half. What number can you get me, Jim? Because I'm looking for a number that is less than 10 and close to 8.
All right, let's get you West Virginia first half popping up on my screen right now. Let's fire down and find you Western Virginia, Boston University. There's a minus 9 at minus 119. That's the best I can get you. That's at Pinnacle.
Minus 9. And what's the 9.5 juiced at?
Minus 110.
Or minus 105.
Minus 110.
Damn it. No, I'm gonna have to pass on that. Frig. Sorry
No
about
problem, no problem. This is exciting watching you work. Is there another addition to this card before we get into questions? And make as many additions as you want, no pressure.
An addition I'd like to make is Utah. I want to take them to rebound from that Coastal Carolina debacle yesterday, and I think that they're able to score a little nicer, a little more efficiently, and Timmy Allen hopefully goes off tonight for Utah and the Mormons.
Are you looking full game on this?
Full game, please, Jim.
All right, let's go over to full game for Utah here, rolling down this giant list of games. Ohio, Utah, open at -5.5. There's still some 5.5s on the board. There's a 6 at Intertops, and there's a 5 at Bookmaker at -115. Would you like the -5 full game at -115?
Yes, please.
All right, there's an addition from Max. So far, Max, just so we're clear, other than the stuff you've tweeted out, you've only added Duquesne. That was something you didn't tweet out. And now I'm going to add Utah full game -5 at what did I say that was? At -115. All right, there we go. Utah -5, -115. All right, any other additions, Max?
Yes, Lipscomb Bison money line, please, Jim. I'm not taking the points. I know I'm going to pay a little bit of juice for that money line, but I'm a little fearful of this pick. I think that Lipscomb may have a letdown game after losing such a heated game against Belmont in that crosstown rivalry, but I have to take them with Hassan Asadullah, with Fleming, with Michael Buckland. I think that this is a matchup against Navy that they're going to take Navy a lot more seriously than American did, and I think that Lipscomb gets me home on the money line.
This is the question. That game was something that Teddy B, our Teddy B, or OG Lowbagger Teddy B, wanted to talk about. He wanted to talk about this Lipscomb Navy game, and I can get you Lipscomb on the money line. I can get you -115 at Pinnacle. That's 8 cents better than. Oh no, Bavada's hanging to -120. Lipscomb money line -115.
Yes, sir. I'll take it, please, and thank you.
All right, Lipscomb money line -115. Locking that in. Farshed, the only NHL play I'm on is the Devils, and but I got the Devils at +150 this morning. Would I take him at +115 or +120? I would probably take him on the -1 line if I had to do that. So the +150 is very, very appealing. And don't forget, 5 of the last 7 games the Penguins have played have gone to past regulation. Okay, so let's keep rolling along. Maxie, my man, after Lipscomb, what's next?
After Lipscomb, I'd like to add Western Kentucky on the first half if I can get 2 or less, please, Jim.
All right. While I'm line shopping for you, why you like Western Kentucky on the first half?
Well, this is going to be a really thrilling game, and I believe that Ken Palm feels the same way about this game. I'm excited to see Justin Turner and Dylan Fry go up against a real top-tier opponent. We saw how they played very admirably against LSU, obviously succumbing. I think that this Bowling Green team has a lot of potential in conference play. I think tonight in this particular matchup, I think that they're just going to be outclassed. I love the addition of the IUPUI graduate transfer in Cameron Justice. I think that his three-point shooting is a fantastic addition to this team, and I'm excited to see what I can get out of Carson Williams again, because that kid's coming off an 11-13 game, 27 points, and I think that this Western Kentucky team is just teaching us and showing us new things every time that they step on the court. Listen, they had a tough game when it comes to covering on the spread versus Eastern Kentucky. I split on that game, but I really like the emergence of Carson Williams. His three-point shot's fantastic. You got a lot of guys that are hitting free throws on this team. You don't have a guy that's hitting less than 70%, and that's actually making me want to jump on them full game also, except the fact that it opened at 2.5 and now it's at 4. I have a pretty strong edge on Western Kentucky in the first half, and if I can get my number, I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it official for the show, because this Western Kentucky team is just impressive for a Conference USA team.
We can get you Western Kentucky first half at -1.5, but you have to pay 8 cents to get them at 1.5, or you could have them -110 at 2, -118 at -1.5.
No, I'll take the -110, and because my edge is actually 7 to 9 points, so I think that Western Kentucky can control this half.
And
I do it for us.
that's the first spot on the board that I will be tailing Western Kentucky first half -2 at -110. What's next, Maxie, my man?
Okay, so the next edition, this is edition that I want to send out to Damon Santori, San Diego State Aztecs. To my guy, Ramon Scott, San Diego State Aztecs. Wow. This team has just been fantastic for your bankroll. First half, full games, unders, team total overs. And I want to get on the train. I want some of that Matt Mitchell. I want some of McCly Flynn. These are great Aztecs. I think this is one of the best Aztecs team, and I know multiple people that I talk college basketball with that think the same thing. I think tonight they don't have a hangover from that San Diego win. I think that they're flying under the radar. They want to dominate the Mountain West, and this is a perfect opportunity for them to do so. They're going to be playing against an LIU team that wants to go up and down, but with the way that they play defense, they can get Raekwon Clark in early foul trouble, and that takes away a lot of scoring offense from this LIU team. There's lots of nice pieces, Jashawn Augusto, Tyler Flowers, but tonight I think that they are completely overmatched. This is not like the Rhode Island game. They're traveling across the country. I like San Diego State full game if I can get them between 18 and 19 points.
You can get them -18 at -115, or you could get them -18.5 at -105.
No, I'll take the 18 on this double-digit spread and preserve my opportunity to push if it's an ass clincher.
All right, San Diego State. San Diego State -18 at -115. All right, there we go. So Max is added Duquesne, Utah, Lipscomb, Western Kentucky first half -2, -110. That I tailed. And San Diego State -18 at -115. Any other additions, Max?
Nope. If there's any more additions, I have a shitload more bets, I'll tell you that. But as we go, and if I see something and get that feel that I like and want to make it official, I will absolutely drop that.
Beautiful. Let's get to question times. And 323 Block in the house. Welcome. Yes, Max is on Duquesne. All right, let's start firing these questions at our Maxwell Smart right now. And the first one up, I believe we've done that. Okay, we've done that. Also, let me just quickly go over a couple things for our guys here. First off, our Matt Randall is on the Richmond McNeese State over 148. That's gone way up. Max is on that as well. He's also on Beth Cook -1, Sacred Heart -5.5. I know that's on or finished. Santa Clara -13.5, Radford +3.5, Marymount +1. He also added the EMU UMBC over 120, and then he added Harvard -15. That is from our Matt Randall. Matt Randall in the house. Okay, and then quickly, we have additions and stuff here from Sean Williams. I'll be hammering that, but let's get to that first question. And it comes in from Michael Irvelina. It says, ask Max about the Oregon game, first half in full game. Michael Irvelina says, I love it, but I may be dead wrong. Oregon, 11th ranked Oregon, up against Houston, opened at -7.5, now -6.5 or -7. Should he trust his gut with Oregon here, Max?
This is a hard game to bet on a side. From my numbers, Oregon has the advantage. I just don't have a big enough edge at 6.5 points to make it official. I think that we've seen this Oregon team play, I won't say a stout schedule, but they beat some solid teams. Fresno, Boise State, Memphis, those are all very solid teams. And we saw them exhibit the defense against UT Arlington the other night, only allowing 47 points. That's the real play that I'm more interested in. I think that Houston's not going to be able to run and gun like they did. I don't think that Quentin Grimes and freshman sensation Marcus Sasser, who's coming off a fantastic three-point shooting game where he had 5, I don't think they're going to be able to have the same shooting success against this defense. I think that with a guy like Francis Okoro in the front court, just got to keep him on the floor, solid rim protector. You got a lot of length, and you got Anthony Mathis, who's probably one of the hottest three-point shooters in the last year and a half in college basketball. I'm not even going to freaking pay a lot of attention to Peyton Pritchard because we know what you get with him. Probably the best point guard in the nation. And I think that just this team is going to be a little bit overmatched. I will say this. If Eugene Omori is ruled eligible before this game, that's a huge addition to this lineup. So we'll have to wait and see with that. The fact is, Oregon, you definitely have to worry about them at the end of the game with free throws. But I think that with this type of defense that they exhibited in the last game against Arlington, I think that maybe we can expect that same type of performance tonight. My lean would be Oregon, but my play is on the under, and I also like the first half under.
Did you want to make those official?
I'll make the full game under official if I can get 137.5 or better.
Well, let's shop for you right now. The Oregon under. Sorry, what was that if I could get?
137.5.
Okay, Oregon, I cannot give you 137.5. The best I can give you is 136.5.
No, I won't take that. Sorry.
No problem. Don't need to apologize. Let's keep rolling along here with the questions. Keep firing. Great job, Max, by the way, as always. Okay, let's keep rolling along here. And the next question comes from Jeff Billings. Says, ask Max what he thinks of LSU game. He says, I have LSU. Let's find this spot on the board. Actually, let me get through spreads and totals. I was only at totals right now. Let's see where LSU stands here. And as you guys know, you may or may not know, Max got us on LSU futures. We're on LSU, Maryland, and Washington futures. Flash and I. LSU, Utah State. Utah State opened at a pick'em. And now they're 1.5 point favorites or 2 at Bovada. This total opened at 150, now at 149. Should Jeff be bullish about his spot with LSU?
I think that you're in a good spot with this LSU. I'm on LSU plus the points as well. I think that what really sold me on LSU was I think there's pressure on Javonte Smart. I think that Javonte Smart, with the turnovers that he's been committing, I think it's 4 or 5 a game. I think that there's going to be pressure on him to really do a good job at distributing the basketball tonight. And another guy that has to stop the turnovers is freshman Trenton Wofford. If both these guys could limit their turnovers and maybe combine for less than 5 tonight, I think they have a good opportunity against Utah State to beat them. Listen, Justin Bean doesn't get a lot of respect. Brock Miller, he looks like a weirdo with no hair on his face or anywhere else. But these guys are solid perimeter defenders. I think that LSU has to worry about getting into a run and gun game with them. And I think that you just got to make sure that you contain Sam Merrill. There is a center that's playing for Kieda, Karnowski, I think his name is. He's definitely a good rim protector. So I worry about LSU driving to the bucket with him there. But with the front court that they have with Darius Days and Emmett Williams, I look for them to have bigger offensive games. And I think that after the VCU game, that prepared them nicely for this game. And I don't think the Marlon Taylor injury will play too much of a factor.
Great stuff. Let's keep rolling down the questions, and we are getting through them very fast. We have one from Jesse Nemeth here. Jesse Nemeth, come on, let's get need my computer rolling. Okay, there we go. Jesse Nemeth, or actually, sorry, the first one up is actually from Christopher Carter. Christopher Carter wondering about the total in Oklahoma State. Western Michigan, Oklahoma State, that total has been stuck at 142. Heritage pulled the first move by bringing it down to 141.5. Western Michigan, Oklahoma State, you think that our guy can get over that? Our guy Christopher Carter can get over that?
I apologize, Chris, but I got no play and no read on that total or side in that game.
No problem. The next one coming from Jesse Nemeth, wanting to know about Monmouth versus Kennesaw State. Monmouth versus Kennesaw State. I thought, did you already have Monmouth on your card? Why do I have a recollection of...
Yeah, I have the under in the Monmouth game.
Okay, Kennesaw State, Monmouth open at 138. Was that one of the plays you tweeted out?
Yeah, it was. It's in my it's in that show tweet.
Okay, on the under, you have any feel for a side in this spot?
Yeah, I like a side first half and full game. I actually think that Monmouth has a 3 to 5 point advantage in the first half, and I like them to cover the game. I think that this is a perfect type of opponent for them to get off the schneid. I think that obviously they're not the flashiest team, and I think that they rely on playing really good defense. Well, Kennesaw State, they're just not a pleasant team to play. I'm not thrilled by this number. I thought that'd be a lot higher. I thought that Monmouth would be at least a double-digit favorite. So I do have a little bit of worry with that. But by my numbers and by my capping, which I have to trust first and foremost, I like Monmouth as a side first half and full game.
Monmouth as a side first half and full game. Did you make a move on it?
I made a move on Monmouth first half. I didn't make a move on the full game.
You don't want to make any of them official?
I was actually debating whether or not to use the Monmouth first half for the play of the day, but
Okay, well, take time.
I'm actually going to lay off that.
Okay, take time. No rush. No rush at all. Questions coming in, and let's lead into it by Big Ragu liking Duke minus 13. Number 1 ranked Duke against Georgetown. Nasty Nate says Duke or Georgetown. The Nizzle 14. The Nizzle 14 says Duke first half minus 8. Are you making a move on Duke or Georgetown tonight, total or side?
Yeah, what have we watched from Georgetown in this brief season so far is that they have a tendency to possibly start slow. What have we saw from Duke? Duke likes playing at Madison Square Garden. Is that where? No, that's not where it's being played, is it? Excuse me. Sorry about that. There's a lot of non-conference games today that are being played at neutral sites, and I have confused myself. Jim, are you able to help me out on that?
Definitely. Why don't you keep breaking down? Here, let me get to it right now. I can grab it very, very fast. And let's get it right here. We go.
Oh, yeah, it's at Madison Square Garden.
MSG, yeah.
So, yeah. All right, so listen, going back into what I was originally going to say, Duke loves to play at Madison Square Garden. I think that tonight they're going to have a fast start against Georgetown, and I think that they're going to be on point the whole game. How I look at it is when a team plays in a tournament setting like this, watches the other team play, sees them mount this type of comeback on national television, they're going to be on point starting early. I think that Duke in the first half is where the better edge for me personally to make a bet is. And I like the full game also. I think that Duke really puts Georgetown to work tonight. I think that obviously you have decent guard play for Georgetown in a solid front court piece. But I think that Duke showed last night when Vernon Carey decided to take this team on his shoulders that no one's going to be able to get in their way, especially not Georgetown. I would be looking to make Duke a first half, if I can get -8, an official play for the show. Excuse me, I'm having trouble getting the words out of my mouth.
No worries. We already talked about Utah State. That's what Young Suave wanted to talk about. We already talked about Monmouth. That's what James wanted to talk about. So we're rolling there. Bob Digital wanted to talk about that as well. Greatest Ever says, can you ask Max about Butler? We haven't spoke about that spot yet. Let's get to it right now. Morehead State, Butler. Butler, 18.5-point favorites. That line has not moved. Total move from 133.5 down to 131, Max. Morehead State, Butler.
Yeah, this is a spot where I think that Butler is going to be playing a team that is stingy. Obviously, they had a little bit of a letdown against Mizzou, but they stayed within the number. I think that you have to take into consideration that who's a better team in your mind? Is Mizzou a better team or is Butler a better team? Well, I think that Morehead State definitely has value in this game. I'm not going to necessarily say that they have value full game because we have seen Butler cover these spreads at home. I don't want to base the capping off ATS, but I will say this. The advantage I see is in the first half. With these types of dogs, I see Butler being at a bit of a disadvantage because Morehead State plays solid defense in the first half, and then they weaken a bit in the second half. Only allowing 27.5 points through 5 or 6 games, I think that's a decent enough sample size to make a judgment call and recommend betting Morehead first half and Butler full game.
There we go. Nice breakdown. Next question comes in from, where are we? From Steve Priest. Wake Forest +8 against Davidson. Davidson opening up at 7.5, now 8. This total's gone up from 142.5 to 146. Max, should our guy Steve Priest make a move on Wake Forest +8?
Yeah, this is a spot I've been struggling with all day, and to be quite frank with you, it's in Charlotte, so there's going to be a decent coming out for, I think, both fan bases. And with Wake Forest coming off that game against Charlotte and Davidson coming off that dismantling of Nevada, Just from a spot perspective, I think that I'd be looking with Wake Forest, but it's not going to be a play that I make either way or on the total, just because I have a lot of trepidation and my line doesn't seem right, because I had Davidson as a 4 or 5.5 point favorite, and having them at 9 or around that number is just too much for me. So I think that if you're jumping on Wake Forest at 8 or 9, I think you're in a good spot.
Ronnie Christie says Baylor up 3, 8 minutes left, spread at -5.5. Do we drop the hammer? Very hard, I know, when you're not watching the game, but I thought I would ask you the question anyways. Baylor up 65-62 against Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina, man, they're a real team. What do you think about Ronnie Christie wondering if you should drop the hammer?
At 5.5, I would like it better. I think that Baylor definitely gets close to covering this game by double digits. I hope that they don't cover by double digits, but if you can see 5.5 and you're watching this game and you got the feel for it, then I support it. Right now, I don't have eyes on the game, so I can't really tell you. The only type of feel, like I said before, is a game that is at the half. That's a game that I can give you a feel for.
No, I
can give you a feel for the fact that Illinois State just covered on the first half against Cincinnati. So the return of Jaron Cumberland is definitely not having the dividends that we thought it would. And Duquesne's up 11-3.
We got, beautiful. We got Prince of the City wanted to know about Davidson. We got to that. Bobby Digital. Bobby Digi wants to talk about Temple getting 9.5. Let's get to that game right now. And let me find it. Damn. What the hell? Temple USC. USC opening up as 10-point favorites. Now 9.5 for 9. What do you think of Temple getting the points against USC?
I think that a lot of people are looking at how the Pac-12 did last night and are really basing it on this. I think that we've seen a really good effort from USC. We saw it in the Nevada game. We saw it in the South Dakota State game where they romped. And I think against Pepperdine, they were just going up against a really talented scoring team. I don't think that they have the same issues with Temple. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect for Temple. I think that they're a team that we can make money on. But you're putting a lot of reliance on Nate Pierre-Louis and Quentin Rose to lead you offensively, because these are the guys that you typically want to get close to 40 points a game from if you want to stay within this number. I think that Oniki Okongwu has been absolutely thrilling to watch. One of the most dominant freshman big man, and then he's playing beside Nick Rakovic. I think that this USC team has value tonight, personally, as an under double-digit favorite. They hit their free throws, they play good three-point defense, and they shoot decent from the field. I'd be looking for them to win this game. I'd be looking for them to cover the number, but it's not something that I'm going to tell you that I think you should go bet.
Joe Anisi wants to talk about Kentucky, Mount St. Mary's. 9th-ranked Kentucky opening up at -27. There are 27.5s on the board, but Pinnacle has not budged. This total opened up 129.5. It's still 129 a lot of places, but Pinnacle shot it up to 131. Mount St. Mary's, Kentucky.
Yeah, I think that Mount St. Mary's, now that they have Jalen Gibbs back, I think that now they have the type of scoring that they need. Simple as this. If this total is going to go over, you're going to need Mount St. Mary to score more than 47 points. They got to score close to 60. I'm not trusting Kentucky with their front court issues to cover these types of big spreads. I'd be looking at Mount St. Mary on the spread or pass. And as far as the over, you just have to decide, do you have belief that Jalen Gibbs and Vado Morse are going to have good shooting games against the backcourt for Kentucky? And we know that at the 2 and 3 position, there's some decent length. Obviously, at the point guard position, they have some advantage size-wise. It's a tough game for me to go on, but if I were to make a play, I'd be taking the over.
Okay, and question. Okay, for our guy Viper NB, for all the hard work he does, did we do the Buffalo game? I'm trying to multitask and failing. Buffalo Towson, Buffalo -6 or open at -6, now -5s across the board. This total at 143, now 144. What do you think of Towson Buffalo?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what Buffalo's been doing. Obviously, I just saw it with my own eyes, so that's my feel there. I think that this Buffalo team, as long as they get a decent performance from a guy like Ronaldo Segou, and they get good three-point shooting from Javon Graves and Antoine Johnson, I think that Buffalo's going to be able to rebound from last night. I think that they're going to be able to get a win, and I think they'll be able to get a cover. I do think that the first half definitely does not favor them. I think that Towson has the advantage in the first half. I do think that Buffalo figures it out at halftime, and then they put in a dominant performance and cover the 5 points.
Gas Station Sushi coming in with a question. Tomorrow night, and we know our Gas Station Sushi in Las Vegas, SMU, UNLV. SMU opening up at -1.5. The total opening up at 128. That's at Pinnacle. 5 times hasn't opened it yet. SMU, UNLV. I know you haven't thought about this spot yet. It's the end of the night tomorrow night, and you'd have all day tomorrow. But when you hear SMU, UNLV, you have an angle?
I think about SMU struggling to score over UNLV's height. I think that obviously with Amari Hardy, you have a decent score for you, and I think that TJ Holtzberger, you would have thought that he was going to play a more faster pace with this UNLV team, but they want to slow it down. They want to limit possessions. They want to really force you into bad shot attempts and mistakes. And I worry about SMU being able to go on the road at that time with that travel spot. But if you were to twist my arm and you were to ask me to put a play in right now, it'd be on SMU. I really like the front court of SMU with Ethan Chargos and Isaiah Mike, our fellow Canadian. And I think that once they get some guys back through eligibility issues, I think that they're going to be even better. And I think that if I were to make a play, I'd take SMU. But obviously I need to look at it a hell of a lot deeper and look at the line I created, which I don't even have on the screen.
No worries. We got to put a bow on this show. My guy Renee said to me, ask Max about first half of the Ohio State game. Let's get to it right now. Where is it? Ohio State. God. Oh, there we go. PFW up against Ohio State. Let's move over to first half, and let's see what we're dealing with in this spot here. Nats Nate Max is on the taint play. And this spot here, Ohio State first half is opened at -15, and money went on to Purdue Fort Wayne because now there's 13.5 or 13s. What do you think about Max backing Ohio State first half?
What's the number again? Because I only had it I liked them at 15 or less.
Yeah, it opened at 15, but it's now down to 13.5 or 13.
I can be convinced to get on that. That doesn't sound too bad of a play. It's almost as bad as UMKC blowing this, coming back against George Washington, but I won't get onto that. Yeah, if you can get under 15 points, that was what I had written down as my edge. I had Ohio State value less than 15 points in the first half. I don't know why people are thinking that IPFW is going to be able to score successfully against Ohio State. I can be completely wrong, but I think that Ohio State's going to thump them early and often.
All right, beautiful work, Max. What a job you do day in and day out for us. And I know there's a ton of pressure on you, and you're handling it so well. But we come to that pressure-packed spot of the day. We need a winner here on your best bets. And that's the point of the day we come to. Max, what have you decided is your best bet on today's card?
Well, first off, I'm going to take a second and I'm going to bitch. Goddamn half point in that goddamn Western Carolina overtime game last night. Like, they shouldn't have had to come back from behind in the first place. I'm not going to cry about it anymore, but obviously you guys can see I'm not happy about it. Okay, so I'm going to go with a play that is probably going to get some sideways look. But listen, guys, if the play of the day keeps on going this way, start fading it, make money. Even if I'm losing money, that will make me happy. I'll be able to live. But I'm going to take South Carolina on the first half tonight. I think that this South Carolina team, it's popping off right now. I think that if you can get them at 8 or 7.5, I think that there's good value. They're coming off a straight-up loss versus Boston University at home. Situationally, I think that this is a great spot for them to come back out strong and get us a win, even though it may be on a neutral court.
South Carolina opened at 5 dimes at 8.5, and it hasn't moved. It's still at 8.5 minus 115. Bovada has it 8.5 minus 120. Pinnacle has it 8.5 minus 112. Bet365 has it 8.5 minus 115. Heritage has the best line at 8.5 minus 110. What do you think?
God damn it. That number spooks me. All right, we have to go to a different one. I'm sorry, Jim, for time purposes.
No, it's okay.
My second strongest play was Georgia State in the first half.
Georgia State.
Get me there.
Georgia State first half. Let's do some line shopping right now. Georgia State first half. It opened at 4. It's now down to 3.5 at Bookmaker, Bet Online, and Bovada, all 3.5 minus 115.
Yep, that's going to be the one. I got Georgia State as an 8-point first half advantage, and if I have at least 2.5 point wiggle room, let's go with this tonight.
There you go. The play of the day is in Georgia State first half minus 3.5. I will be tailing that. I'm tailing 2 of Max's first half plays. Western Kentucky first half minus 2 at minus 110, and Georgia State first half minus 3.5 at minus 115. I absolutely love it. So let's quickly go over all of Max. Actually, let me do mine first. I'm on Devils plus 150. In the association, I'm on Pistons first half minus 3. Hornets team total over 113.5. I'm on Lakers minus 4.5 minus 102. Thunder team total under 103.5. I'm on Warriors plus 16 at minus 110. If I had known that Draymond wouldn't be in the lineup, I wouldn't have made that bet, and I'm not going to buy myself off of it just because Jeff still really likes it. And that's my action. So let's go to Max's action right now. On this card, Monmouth under 137, Rhode Island over 127, FIU over 160. Those have already gone. East Carolina plus 8, Radford plus 4, Richmond over 148. That's the taint play today with Matt Randall. Cal Baptist over 149.5, Rhode Island minus 6.5. And Sacred Heart, Liberty, and Arkansas, they've gone. And then Arkansas under 140.5 still to go. Additions Max made during the show are as follows: Duquesne minus 7 to minus 110, Utah minus 5 minus 115, Lipscomb money line minus 115, Western Kentucky first half minus 2. I tailed that. San Diego State minus 18 minus 115, Georgia State first half minus 3.5 is the play of the day minus 115. I tailed that. I got to go make these 2 college basketball bets. And it is Friday evening. We've done a big week of work, Max. Thank you for everything you do. Follow Max on Twitter at Maxwell Smart 420. Follow him. And Max, thank you for all your hard work and what you do for us. Could you please do us the great honor of introducing Freddie Fortune?
Absolutely. You know what? It's that time of the day. I got a special job to do, and I'm going to do it right. Because you know what I do? I do things smart. And what I'm going to do smart for you guys today, I'm going to introduce to you a great man. A man that sees better than most. He eats with a spoon. His name's Freddie. His last name's Fortune. And he's here for you.
Don't say that. I fucking hate spoons.
Excuse me?
Spoons fucking suck.
What the hell's going on? Spoons suck?
Yeah, he said that I eat with a spoon.
Yeah. He loves you. He gives you great intros,
Yeah,
man.
I fucking love him.
Yeah. You seem edgy.
I seem what?
Edgy.
Edgy?
Yeah, you seem upset.
No,
Okay.
I'm happy.
You got yourself a winner?
Oh,
What happened? Earache?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
My previous play won.
Yeah, your previous play won.
Yeah, minus 138. That's not great, but
I've got to get a couple of bets in. Can you finish this off for us?
no.
Come on. We got the number 1 video we got to play. Look, okay, stay here for me for a second. I said when number 1 was down double-digit units, cut. And then he went down double-digit units.
Yeah,
He still made a video today. I was like, no, friend.
he's minus 11 units or something.
Yeah. And he put out a video. We were supposed to air it in the first show. Did we air it?
No.
No. Fuck that.
Who cares about number 1?
Fuck that. Number 1. Fuck that. And it's play 1. It's play 1.
Is play 1?
Yeah. So he has 2 plays in the video. All right, we'll give him one more chance. He better keep his head under double-digit units. Rafa, can we play the number 1 video? Man, cut.
I'm back. Yes, for number Juan, and he's back. I hear you, people. Jimmy says I cannot be here because I am under double digits. But frankly, I don't care. You don't care. Management doesn't care. Jimmy, get on point, man. Get things straight. We don't care about you. We don't care about your opinion. Shut up and do your show. So my pick for this weekend is double. Double pick. Double number Juan. The first one, Levante versus Mallorca. This game is this afternoon, so pay attention. Levante to win. Mallorca hasn't won in the last 12 games in the road. So I'm expecting Levante to win, especially considering they came from the win against Barcelona 3-1. That was an amazing game against Barca. And Levante is at home. So this pick is -113, Levante to win. Go pick it up now. My second pick is for Final de Libertadores. River Plate, papa. My pick, both teams to score at -105. Flamengo is the highest scoring team with Gabigol with more than 38 games this season. And River Plate with players like Suarez, like Borré, they're fucking fantastic. They're great. Both teams are very offensive, so both teams to score at -105.
I don't know what to do. I fucking hate this show. I don't know why I'm still here. I hate number Juan. I hate Jimmy. I miss my friend Peter Loshak. Okay, I'm going to give you a play. It's Spanish futsal. It's for tomorrow. It's Jaén Paraíso. First half, -138 over Córdoba at Bet365, and that's it. This is Spanish futsal. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, follow Jimmy on Twitter, follow Max on Twitter, follow SBR on Twitter, subscribe, like the video, and let's in los bookmakers. Bye, guys. Oh my god. I need to close the show. I'm sorry.